Okay, hello, I'm Crucify. This is the OGPL Week 2 recap. I didn't script anything again, so I'm just gonna get into it. Talk about the acts first-ish. So, okay, first I'll go through what happened in the week. So, Snorlaxes became the second team to win a week in this tour by beating the Manaphy's. They won the manager battle. KP Mubs, Desby Waylaid. They won. Makes sense, I guess. Um, Then the RPS versus Swallows ended up being 4-3 right here, but as we'll see, Blurb got act over EU after subbing in, so that's interesting. And then Rulers versus Garchomps tied. So let's go to the act first. So Blurb versus EU. The series initially started with Urbichuza versus EU, with Urbichuza on Thursday before the scheduled time, requesting to play later or volunteering to be subbed out. Blurb was chosen as a sub, and they had first agreed to a time on Thursday which EU had missed. Correct. An attempt to reschedule was made, which resulted in EU missing a time again. Both sides definitely had faults in the situation, and you can argue that EU had not confirmed the last scheduled time, but as he had proposed a new time, he should have been more careful while waiting for a response. Ultimately, with all factors considered, Blurmt has more push in this situation. Result activity for Blurmt. Alright, so let's look at the numbers. Okay, so March 6th. So March 6th was Monday, which was when the week went up. So Urbichuza says Thursday noon, can't play. Okay. So Urbichuza says 4:30 p.m. plus 1 on Thursday. And then he says that he'll be traveling on the weekend. And then something unexpected happens for Urbichuza, so he has to sub out. You ask for response, and then there was some stuff in the 1v1 Discord of like you asking for a sub. I think it was something like that, or maybe like the Swallows manager said, what do you call? The Swallows manager said that they were gonna sub someone in, so they do. Something blurbed on Thursday, so we'll keep in mind it's already Thursday. So EU already has like a case for act, I guess, or like EU can like tell Blurb when he wants to play, and if Blurb misses, then he gets axed. So it's 1-0 in the act situation for EU right now. So EU contacts pretty quickly after the sub. Blurb suggests the time on 10 March 2023, which is Friday, the next day. And then happening. Friday? Do I not know what days of the week are? Oh, this is correct. Oh, so Blurb suggested Sunday, and then wait, Blurb suggested Sunday? Okay, whatever. So Blurb suggested Sunday, then EU asked for earlier. EU asked for tomorrow on Friday, so that would be Saturday. And then EU just says, "Can we play in 2 hours?" And then Blurb says, "Yeah, sure, 2 hours works for me." And then EU just misses the time after suggesting it. Okay, so that's 1-1. Is this 1-1 for X? Uh, okay, wait. Oh, up here. Oh, EU missed this time. I see. So this is Friday 6 p.m. So this would be at midnight. This would be at midnight on Friday, after Blurb suggested 10:30 on Friday, in which EU agreed to, but then missed. EU also didn't respond to we could do midnight if that'd be better. And then, but yeah, EU effectively asked to reschedule here. So yeah, so EU did miss 2 scheduled times, according to this. So it would be 1-2 in Axe, EU with 1 and Blurb with 2. So yeah, I would say Blurb should get Axe, but this is like not very good. And then Blurb says he can't reschedule again, which he can. And we tried to make it happen, but just didn't. Yeah, I would say Blurb has a case for X. Yeah, I think it's back for Blurb. But I know that it was gonna be a dead game if Orion didn't rule. Cause I was asking around asking for what the ruling was, because I was curious, because the series ended up being close, wherever it is. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it ended up being a 4-4 series. So or 4-3, I guess. But the result ended up being 4-4 with the act, so I was wondering. So yeah, it would have been a dead game if I didn't rule that Blurm should get axed. I can see the argument for a dead game, honestly. Because Blurms after you missed the second, it was still like 1-2. You have to win 3 games to win a best of 5 in 1v1. So I guess Blurm needed to just stay another time. He would have had act for sure if you didn't make it, but yeah. I mean, this is just act, missed 2 scheduled times. But I don't know. Having a sub on a Thursday was also tough. I don't know, whatever. So that's basically what happened. Okay, so now to the week because there's a bunch of games. Like there's some long best of sevens. Actually, is there a long best of sevens? I don't know. So yeah, Vincent predicts Rumiko Dungo GIF. Some that was a banger actually. I think this week was slightly less entertaining, so we probably won't have this much stuff. Shout out Dom. Predicts, alright, so first blood. This happened before the act situation was MX versus what's his name? Fake Tom Numbers? Yeah. Fake Tom Numbers brings this team again that they brought last time. MX loads up with Mono, loses the fire type, JK is an Armaldo. Kinda loses the waters though. Does pick the Armaldo, but Machamp comes in, misses cross chop, because that's what Machamp does, but it doesn't matter. Manages to hit 2. Was that banned? I think that was banned Machamp. Because it did 82 and he didn't click like any other move on turn 3. Anyway. Fake Tom Numbers brings the team again. MX loses a Moltres and a Marowak. I pick Marowak here. Marowak's too good. That's not what happened though. It's my Moltres. And Moltres is faster because they run bulky band, I guess. It's also Pattaya, which just explodes it, so it doesn't lose to some. So it's not a subtech one that loses to return. I'm pretty sure Moltres actually wins because of Morning Sun. If it was a subtech PP Cell variant. Then Fake Town Numbers loads up a Shedinja next to D-Knight and Vaporeon. I obviously went Raikou instead of Shedinja, and then I'll probably win, I don't know. And so, whenever Shedinja comes, and Shedinja beats only Vaporeon here, it's like, I don't know, but he picks Vaporeon, because MX is a Chad, then defeats the Dragonite. Alright, no fear of Shedinja, I respect that. How much does time run down? His timer ran down like 60 seconds. So, I respect that, not even scared of Shedinja. Then Fake Tom brings his Moltres. I don't even remember what happened this game. Here we go, Moltres. And the MX just picks Starmie. And Subtech Moltres, but MX hits Hydro. So Backwatch. I guess that was the pick into Metagross not wanting to do the mirror. When Starmie was just into Moltres, I guess. Because Metagross went Shadow Ball for Starmie. I guess, yeah, I think it was just into Moltres. So that was Chad. Didn't feel like picking Meds. So, yeah, MX packed him. And then we have another early DDP series from Shravenge. Alright. So yeah, this brings like the broken, same here. I don't remember what happened this game. I think it was Crescent something. Nope. Oh, you went Clef on Spitfire's Crest. And then Heater 2-1 emerges victorious. Rock Slide, by the way. No Stone Edge needed. Or Crunch. Just, you know. I wonder how my audio is. I'm pretty sure it's fine, but I'm also talking louder today. Anyway. Tram Bike. I don't even remember him doing this too much. I'm pretty sure this game was like, this was pretty good for challenge actually. I don't remember what he won. Yeah, okay. Yeah, he has Vibe into Arc, and then Teacher's like 03. So this was Specs Arcanine, I think? I don't know, that did nothing. The Specs Arcanine really do 66 to fight? What? Right broken? I will for sure not be counting, but right might just be broken. This is like quote unquote free Infernape. If you're like Mach Punch is free Infernape. Here he goes Rotom. And Rotom with Hydro Pump does 34 to T-Tar. 34 by the way. Jesus. That was probably Super Spidef for like Specs Crest. That's an illegal amount of damage. Okay, we see another Shedinja being brought. You see Venusaur model from Spitfire. That was a core that Euphanos brought, I believe, in the week 1. This is looking like Heracross from Scavenge. It's probably HP Flying Venusaur for Heracross. He goes Armaldo. I guess it must have not been HP Flying because HP Flying 3L'd. So I don't know. Spitfire also might have thought that this one, but this just gets CC'd. STCC is like slightly uncommon, I think. I think they generally run reversal, but I don't know what full moveset was. I think reversal is kind of bad, honestly. Sorry, I support running STCC. Alright, Scavenge 2-0, Spitfire 0-2. And then Hungry Foodie's like had to sub out for Freddy versus Triple Legends. And then Pretty Kroger about one of my teams, which has Mexico Select Men's. Then Freddy actually has insane matchup here. Triple Legend brought should be a Tyrannosaur over Regirock, by the way. But Sceptile Gear is good. And Rock type's good as the last. Yeah, Freddy kinda has insane matchup here, I remember. Like Men's beats Sceptile, Scizor beats Sceptile and Regirock. Or it should, at least. And Vaporeon beats Gyarados, Regirock, so this is a really good matchup for Freddy. He chooses Mence. Goes Gara. There's no Blizzard. So yeah, this ends up being rolls. So like 48 into 52, I ain't counting, but I'm guessing that 48 was a low roll. It's like, I remember like, I'm pretty sure it was just like max HP Gara, like 50 is the mid roll, or something like that. So like, I don't know, bro. And then there's like flinch outs, crit outs there. I would say it was I think the roll was in Freddy's favor though. That 48 just seems really low. I don't know. Could have just been super bulky Gara. For sure. Anyway, game 2. This time Freddy has a terrible matchup. Gengar's a big threat. Lucy's a big threat. But he goes Venu. I'm guessing Venu was just into Gengar, because you have your other monster for this. I might have also, but I don't know. Swampert was the blissing answer, so I'm guessing Drip Legend. This is an old Logan team, by the way, which like Giga Drain 3 attacks Gengar. This Ice Punch was a bit, I think. I don't think it mattered. Actually, was it a bit? I don't know, because the alternative play is Wisp, which means you have to hit Wisp. And when you don't Wisp, you don't do the 46 damage from Ice Punch. This game ended up being pretty close. Like Venusaur, hold up. What HP did it go down to on one of the subs? Yeah, it went down to like 13 HP on one of the subs, I remember. It was kind of close. I don't know. I think Ice Punch is the play, honestly. You Ice Punch and Critter Freeze. Don't have to hit Wisp. I don't think Wisp help. So yeah. Game 3 we see Meganium. This is nice nowadays. Mike Vaporeon subs the ED. And then Marowak's broken. So yeah. Unfortunately he fights Meganium. Meganium is like, dude, you'll think Meganium 3-0s this game, but Meganium can lose to all 3, I'm pretty sure. Well, maybe not Vaporeon. But like, dude, there's no way. Okay, so like, I'll play the game, and like, it ends up being banned Meganium, which like Dookie's on Raikou, because it ends up not being Patea. It's probably just like Scope Lens HP Ice, is what I assume. As the EQ also did like nothing, so I'm guessing it was broke for Arrow or something like that. And then, yeah. So since it was banned Meganium, there's no way that Marowak, or that it loses to, bleh. There's no way that Meganium beat Marowak this game, that's all I'm gonna say. It's like, Giga Drain does like, there's no way it does damage to Marowak. But I ain't counting. Anyway, so Freddy subs in wins. Then we have Oras on Friday night. The post ended up happening Sunday morning. You see that act call here, by the way, on Saturday, after EU missed the second time. So we see Bokarona, Garam. Oh wow, this looks like a team that someone using SM. It's also God Squad with a Zarda, with a Bokarona. And then we have Brovik PZ, aka Lucy Charizard Mega X. But this is the Charizard Mix. It's also the Dom team with D-Knight, but there's a Slowbro, which is good. For the matchup, I mean, honestly, Fragment's team is like not good. I don't think the other team went bad actually. It's kind of an odd place for Volcarona, I think. I mean, it's fine because we just need a fire type with Garrett Maul, but eh. And then on the other side, like Slowbro Victor's always weird, but I think PZ is just like you slap it on and it's ambiguous to hide bad matchups that it has. But so anyway, Vic kind of wins unless it's Substorm Volk, so it could PZ for it. But it depends on what PZ. It could also be Spexor can beat PZ. But Spexor could probably. So yeah, it kind of depends on what set Fragments reads for PZ here. But it also depends on if Fragments actually beats Vict. So play. There goes Maw on PZ, so I wanted to be safe in the PZ. Unfortunately, he does not defeat Victini. Second is 75, then it just gets recreated. I don't see this Bikini set wasn't revealed, but I'm proud of him for just like recreating turn 1. Just like everyone clicks Wisp, and doesn't risk the Sarky crit. But recreate just gets clicked and wins. So I don't know, could have been. It's definitely not banned actually. I think ban's really iffy there, but I'm saying this like I don't know the team. But yeah, it's kind of a dookie maw, honestly. I think you always go your big answer there. It's too safe. Unless he doesn't know that like weakness policy Vic is a thing, which is I don't think is true. Anyway, so we see our first Charizard of the series. It runs a cop. It becomes better with Blizzard Y because it runs Akaberry and beats Zardex. And we see Mana Chomp Gen. Garchomp's a bad Pokemon. But Garchomp also makes a really good core with Genesect, so it's like passable. But Genesect's also like semi-fraud mon, honestly. And then, but Mana's like a solid mon. I think Mana's slightly overrated though. So I think both of these teams pass, but Garchomp's kind of iffy. It does run into a Charizard here, so that's good. So you have Charizard, and so it's like Garchomp into Zard, looking for Fragment's POV, and then you can go Manaphy into Meta Zard depending. And if it's banned, Chomp, it can also be picked into Whimsicott. Then Genesect beats Meta and Whims. Anyway, play. So Manaphy gets picked into Meta. So this was Meta into Chomp, I assume. Because if it's banned, it's dire. Ends up being Stall Manaphy, aka the good set. Or maybe not the good set, but it's definitely the best set, actually. I don't know if I'll call it the good set. If you say good with a U. And then, yeah, gets burnt and loses. Anyway, so this Slowbro Vic team comes again. We see Zardu Maul out, aka Mexican versus Heatran. Mexican versus opposing Zard, but new. These people are using Charizard. Too much Mawile though. This is a Mawile versus Metagross series, so you kind of know how it happens. Yeah, I'm just gonna play this. We'll see if we can unlock the piece Charizard. So the counter was PZ and it was Scarf PZ, relying on no, how would you call it? No, like bulky Zard, as in bulky Spadef. So Uproar happens. Uproar is 47, so this is max Spadef. This like has to be max Spadef, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure Hyper Beam was better, but I don't know. Pretty sure Hyper Beam killed. I don't know, I'm not cocky. Anyway. So we see the Manichump Jenga brought again, because we reuse an RS in 2023, and then we see Latios start Maw, outrun Meta over Maw, obviously. I think I've seen like the Gamer use this team, and like RS Live Tours, but I'm not sure. I think this match is pretty good for Frag. This is like a 50-50 again, I'm just gonna play. And then Chad, Canal, and Wolf just picked Zard. Fragment's unclicked in the last second. I hope Fragment's unclicked and clicked them on that lost to Zard because of it. Anyway, it was SD Flame Charges teams, which beats Mana, so yeah. And then Wolf uses his team from week 1. And then Fragments commits a... I don't even know what to say. Like, Fragments spawned Terrakion game 5? Terrakion game 5? Terrakion game 5, dude? Like, are you kidding me? Like, what? You go to game 5... Ah, it pains my soul to see Terrakion game 5. Like, I'm actually, like... I was, like, taken aback when I saw the replays that I saw Terrakion was in game 5. Wow. So anyway, we have, it's basically Sableye into Mana Tarak, or Metagross into Maw. I mean, I don't even know why I said Tarak, because Tarak beats no lands. Yeah, I'll play. So, and then, I mean, Fragments, I mean, that. That just shows none of the above, and goes Malts. But it's DD Malts. I'm just gonna start skipping forward. But it's DD if he solved Malts, and then Fragments misplayed it. Versus DD Molt, you just have to hope you not get crit, I'm pretty sure. Because this is obviously just a loss because we saw this too much. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you just have to sit there and like spam Acid Armor and Calm Mind. And then I'm pretty sure you lose it. I'm pretty sure you lose anyway. Because they can also just DD to Infinity and then Cotton Guard. And then Roost. And you have to Scald eventually and lose. So I think that is actually just losing. So it's not really a throw. So I guess going for Scald and hoping that it's not Facade. So yeah, I guess this is why you want Facade while post start by. West Side X still exists. So I don't know, this is a pretty good series except for Terrakion Game 5, I'd say. I should start going faster. Anyway. The Euphonos vs. Chris numbers. This is gonna be so long, it's such a long video. There's Euphonos brings. This is like a team that I've used in the past that loses to Slacking. Needs Tech Prune to beat Slacking. And then like Metagross has like a roll to win. Then he goes for the roll with Meta. It's like a 50% roll or maybe slightly in Slacking's favor, depending on Metagross EVs. But Euphonos gets the roll. In game 2, we see Namo, Moltres, Empo. This is a cool team, honestly. And then we see Hariyama, T-Tars, Apple. This is something like James 155 would run, I think. Might be a sample, honestly. Wow. Anyway, T-Tars, Apple's broken, Hariyama decent last. Unfortunately, in this matchup's like kind of bad for him because if he Spec Snap, Empo's a threat. I'm pretty sure Custap Hydro kills, even if it's bulky Zap. And it's also an iffy matchup with Hariyama. Actually, no, it's not an iffy matchup with Hariyama because of Bullet Punch. I lied. Assuming it is Bullet Punch. Yeah, it's kind of unclear what Hariyama said it is. Hariyama's actually a big threat for Youth, but Youth can have 3 months that might beat it if Hariyama's not the right set, like Specs Molt, and just kill it if it's not Thick Fat, which probably isn't Thick Fat tier. But it could be Thick Fat just for super safe Infernape, but he has T-Tar, which might be EQ. Anyway, I'll play, because this is something that, like, I can't say what it would be on preview because of what happens. So we end up seeing Fake Out Toxic Orb on Hariyama, meaning its Guts. And then we end up seeing a Chopper Berry Mamoswine, which does in fact lose to Zapdos, but you need Aqua Berry for Zapdos. And since it was Chopper Berry, it ends up beating Hariyama. So that's a nice nerf, well, nice tech, I guess. Euphonos says we're pretty unclear on the Empo and Mamo. So Chris was just like Zapdos and afraid of picking him to Empo, I assume. Assume he was Custap. Yeah, that's just like playing Euphonos moment. Sometimes that happens to you. So then we see T-Tar Kunjirachi. I really don't like these three. I feel like these three don't have the best synergy, but yeah. It's a pretty good matchup for him though. Well, not pretty good, but it's just a 50-50 matchup. Metagross into T-Tar Jirachi, like from Euphonos' point of view, and then Lantern on the Suicune. We've also could change things, but ends up just going Lantern and then finding a T-Tar. He ends up having to Stone Edge, which is crazy. Is he hitting 2 Stone Edges? He is hitting 2 Stone Edges. He's like pretty insane, honestly. But, you know. I hit 2 Stone Edges, dude. There's 2 head smashes. Crazy. You see, yeah, I see this Venusaur Moldo team, God for Alligator. Um, the, so this is like the best for Alligator matchup I've ever seen. It was Chick Scarf Crest here. Chick Scarf Crest like won, I think. It didn't beat Armaldo, but it does win versus for Alligator. Unfortunately, people do not run Trick Scarf Crest, so Euphonos can just SD freely, which honestly made me super mad. Like, uh, I mean, what else are you gonna do? Because you just lose if you get tricked anyway. And you need a SD to be able to kill stuff once you get in Torrents, as it ends up being Custap, which I assume beats Specs. Actually, probably doesn't beat Specs if I'm being real. Like, I don't know. I wonder if Euphonos SDs turn one with Armaldo versus Crest. If he does, that would make me mad. And then I'm DMing his next opponent to bring Scarf Crest so like, I don't know. People just don't get punished. I didn't analyze it for the strategy series, but I'm pretty sure it was weaker. But it's not anyway. Yeah, note for Yukino's future opponents just being Scarf Crest. Like, stuff like this. I don't know. Stuff like this has to be punished. I don't think this is a good spot for Scarf for Stalkcrest anyway. I don't think Stalkcrest is even that great of a set. Like you have 2 months. I mean, I guess I don't know, dude. I don't know. I just don't think that's a good Scarf Crest or Stalkcrest spot. Why did he edit this on Thursday or yesterday at 7:30? What? Did he edit something out? Oh yeah, he edited out there's says something about Italians here. Anyway, so Cave shouted me out for no reason. Ali barely helps. Okay, so Cave versus Mubs. It's looking like a uh iffy stun matchup versus iffy Selby matchup, so I just see who wins, because both are obviously gonna go it. You see H3 Flying come out, so would have lost the Scarf Psychic, unless that was Scarf itself. I have no idea what Mobs' Celebi is here, because there's no way that's Specs, and it's not Scarf, unless that was Scarf. So, I don't know. That was pretty weird. It wasn't male. Wasn't Citrus. I don't know. I have like no explanation for what the Celebi was. Maybe it was some berry? I don't know. I don't know. Then Cave Place brings Clefable Golem Celebi. This is like an insane jank. But he ends up 3-0ing Mobs with Clef. This is a funny game, because it ends up being Spec Sweeping. He have S-Toss turn 1, which I don't know if it's the play. I would probably not personally. But it didn't really matter because it ended up being Specs, but we were talking after the game on whether Clefable can defeat Subtycoon. Yeah, so this game, basically Mubs just like never got paired, so Cave low-key almost lost. And he also crit a couple surfs. But Cave like correctly played around crit at the key moments, so won. Took 12 soft boils off because of how little Mubs got paired. Anyway, so Cave's up 0-2. This is the most AP game from him. Analyze a little bit, like, so Mubs, I can't reveal stats, so I won't analyze too much, but yeah, I don't even understand. I'm just gonna play this game actually, because I like did not understand this game that much. Okay, so first we have Mienshao and the Conk. Breakout is 14. Lock happens, which is fine, and then like they just died. Like I think it's normally a roll in Conk's favor if you're like the Calc set, which is good enough for like Kodio, which is kind of outdated honestly. Kinda like any defense Mienshao like didn't win. Which begs the question, was Mienshao into? And the answer is probably Genesect. And it was probably like foul play Sableye, I guess. I don't know, bro. But if it's foul play Sableye, it's Lottie counter Lottie, but it might have been Haban. I also don't know why Kid Quick died. Might have been Guts for Sableye. So yeah. Anyway, so Cave brings Golem again. They both bring Fear and Water Core. Except Cave has Chad Golem versus Virgin Crest, so good for him. When we go into the game, we see Cresselia picked into Golem. We end up seeing Brastos over Specs. And I agree, also one thing about the preview, we saw Male Jellicent, so there's clearly stall. Same with the Manaphy. Although you can run Run Mail on Mana Fiend be Tail Glow, but yeah, Golem does not defeat Specs Press, in case you're wondering. Anyway, so Cave just loads up the classic Raikou Chankera. Oh my god, yeah, my biggest gripe with this series is Mubs loaded this game 5. Like, Celebi Keldeo Umbreon is like not good, number one, and then you lost with the game 1 too. It's like, I don't know, maybe he changed it to Scarf Celebi, right? Except we played the game. Actually, first for the matchup, like, this is an insane matchup for Cave. Like Gyara's really good, Chomp's really good, and then Mike Specs Mike with like 3 Ls. Unless it's like Snarl Umbreon, which is like odds. If you're Snarl Umbreon, you like have to go it, I think. Especially when you see that it's not Scarf Celebi as we see here. So like, yeah, I don't know. I have like very little explanation for this game, for this team. That was pretty poor from Mubs, I think. Anyway, I should check if the next week of OGPL is up. It's definitely not, I think. Yeah, it's not. I'm recording this in like pretty early in the morning. Okay. Alright, so we Frosty versus TSC. This is so ugly, dude. I really don't like this team for Frosty. And then he has like super dookie matchup actually. Like Volcanions, EOP, Molt's good. I don't know. I guess the main thing is Volcanions like pretty OP, and then you pick Serp. So I don't really know what Serp is into. I think maybe Serp is best odds into this, but how is Serp best odds into this, bro? I think Meta and Lando are your only real picks. That was so strange. I mean, I don't know what the Lando set was, but surely Lando had better odds, even if he needed a crit than Serp to beat this. I don't know. Then Frosty bringing this is like an ecstatic team, uses a lot. Then TSC brought Crocodile Circuitry, so I think we know who won. Who's Genesect? Yeah, I mean, his matchup was so bad, I don't even like blame him. Except for one thing, he clicked Bug Buzz turn 1. But we see next turn the Shadow Ball does 51, so this was definitely AV. And there wasn't choice, so yeah. Probably didn't have Flash Cannon, so makes sense. Alright, next game. I don't like freaking Frosty, but what can you do? And then he goes Sableye for like nobody, I think. I mean, he's taunt. Or like, we ended up seeing that he was taunt. TSC plays this super safe. He also mega taunted, which I think is strange. I think you have to regular taunt. But it like doesn't matter because you just died in Z anyway. So that's just lost. Yeah, it's kind of unclear to me what I was into. Yeah, I don't know. I'm guessing he didn't want to go his own aggron because maybe okay, number one, maybe he didn't be insane. I guess he was scared of opposing Vinu, and I guess Taunt Sableye was his best answer. I don't know. I don't know. It's odd. There's no way Taunt Sableye beats Vinu though. I don't believe it. So he brings this team again. And TSC brings this team, which is pretty known. It's like Scarf D-Knight, standard, like relaxed Prim, and then Zardwai. This is the freest Zardwai ever. Then see Zardwai into Donphan, Flame Charge, regular Flame Charge turn 1. Ain't need that Air Slash, and then he dodges Head Smash. So, yeah. I was so confused that he didn't click Air Slash. But, I mean, maybe he didn't have it. Maybe it was Hyper Beam from Canyon? I don't know. Yeah, ecstatic bolts, but yeah, you just click Head Smash. Happens. The Frosty made 2 AP clicks, so I don't know. Yeah, TSC wins. That put the Garchamps up 2-0, I think. Then we have SMB. I think this put the Garchamps up 3-0, spoiling the wins. It was Akras versus SMB. Akras is... I mean, SMB is pretty iffy versus Crafty. It could be Skull or Stall, Jellicent. Or it could be Bulky PZ, which is what we saw. Or this might not even have been Bulky. Or not Bulky PZ, Bulky Genesect. It might have just not even been Bulky Genesect. And then Scrafty is just terrible. I mean, Scrafty is terrible. It's not a very good mon, but... This is Conk. I think Conk here. Oof. I think Conk dies to Sniper. But, anyway. Next. This see Empoleon Meloetta come out from Macross. I think Relic's on 3-0s here. I'm not sure. We see an Aggron from SMB, which is nice. This is like, it's kind of 50-50, so he goes Shaman on Empo. He says why. I guess he's saying why because of Joe Biden. Maybe. Dude, if he was, actually no, Agility Empo lost. He just gets stalled out by Leech Seed. I'll let it play because SME played this correctly, so he has played around the cuss step by subbing the turn before cuss step proc, so he can tect. Yep. Clean 12 from SMB and the Elo's Ludicolo. And Macross those motherfucking Drift and Breloom. So I'm not gonna analyze, I'm just gonna play. We see the Drift come out. And then it's Acrobatics Flying Gem, and it sends Ludicolo to the moon. So, that's funny. And SME goes back to being, like, tryhard teams, Oak, Scrafty, PZ. Then Macross brings the Fire, Water, Grass. Tran Venu's decent. Tran plus Grass type's pretty good with its specs. And in fact, Specs kinda wins here, so we play. Okay, Specs wins except that Specs, if you're not overheat, doesn't kill Scrafty. But it also ends up being Wisp and missing. And I think that mattered, because I'm pretty sure this overheat 2 KOs, and then HJK wouldn't have 2 KO if the Wisp hit. Okay, especially if the Wisp hit, then overheat was going to 2 KO. So that was pretty unlucky for Outgrass. Black White Wisp is 75%. I don't know. The Wooloo got pretty unlucky this series overall, honestly. Between Head Smash missing and this. But, I don't know. I think SMB played better though. In previous games than this one. Not a good Tran matchup though. Like something Scrafty has over Conk is that it beats Specs Tran though. Anyway. We see Board Glitch for Skrilla. I think the Snorlaxes were up like 3-1 going into this. Euphanos K flip. Oh, it was 4. It was actually 4-0. So, that's the first time I thought. Because obviously just goes Zapdos here. Double water, you always go Zap. Especially when, I don't know. It just goes Zapdos. Like Gorilla forgot that everyone picks Zapdos into when it's a 2-1. So he is defeated. He ends up being AV Volcanion, but not quite good enough to win. In game 2, we see Regigigas Volcanion Meadow Standard. And we see some like Pharaoh Swampert. Mochi. I've seen a lot of Mochi actually so far this tour, which is interesting. He ends up going Volcanion as Glitch picks the 2-1 again. And then this game, Glitch ends up having a pretty good matchup with Venusaur because Sleep Venu is faster and everything. So it comes out, and then Gorilla has to win with his Life Orb Zera, which he is not able to do. He got the turn 1 Wake, but Outrage still doesn't win. Showing the reliability of the matchup, I guess. I don't know. Losing to Sleep Venu is kind of dire. Maybe Flame Shards tell us. No. Then in the game of 3, we see a fun T from Glitch. We see another Moltres. This time with Nihilego and Crest. Seems not bad, honestly. I think this is not a bad spot for Nihilego. I'm a Nihilego hater, but it's decent here. He picks a 2 into the Feeny, I assume. It ends up being Specs Feeny. And it ends up sending it to the moon. This crit was like a roll that was in Gorilla's favor. Judging by this was a 50-50. But with the misses, yeah, it's in Gorilla's favor. It ended up being Acid Armor, Meteor Beam on the Helico. Specs would have won, but happens. Yeah, Glitch wins his first series, so that's to him. We're on to page 2 finally. Okay, so we have this fiasco of the series. Ecstatic versus Squirtle. So Ecstatic was tilted beyond belief. Okay, also fun fact, game 1 of this series happened, and then the entire board glitched versus Gorilla series finished between game 1 and game 2. It's after game 1. It's like first he's tilted off the moon, and then we see this like this game happen. I just let it play. So we see Slowbro, Megaton 1 obviously. Then we see like Gigaboat Havoc come out and do 90. and then just Squirtle clicks Slack off, and then Ecstatic misses the coin flip. But pretty sure Squirtle had pretty decent odds. Actually, no, he didn't. If the you just had to not get paired basically. This is for sure. I don't know. This thing was like a Kintari team from PL that he used on Panchams, so I knew that it was Electrium, but Squirtle might have known it was Electrium too. I don't know. Yeah, that was kind of packed. He was definitely so mad. Ecstatic was definitely so mad after this. He needed to choke up. Anyway. He ends up coming back and getting all the picks right, so he picks Navino into Prim. It's just like, I assume Squirtle picked this into Instant, which is expecting Hoopa. Navino wins. In game 2, Ecstatic just gets another pick right. Squirtle goes stunned, which is on Beanie, I assume. They want to just pick Instant again. But CB Hoopa gets done. And we have like a really bad matchup for Squirtle, I think. Maybe not really bad. I guess it's kind of pretty set dependent how it's gonna play, because I don't know if I'm enough to like hard commentate. This is where we saw a counter Toad just dookie on a Diggersby. I'm guessing that was Scarf Diggersby, I think Dan kills. So yeah, counter Toad is clear. And we see another, I think this is a pretty bad matchup for Squirtle 2, maybe? I have no idea, but anyway, we see a Prim get picked, which is I assume it's a Victini. I guess it's a big loss to others. They didn't want to pick it. So yeah. I actually just didn't expect the card to come out too. It's kind of lose the other two, I think. So yeah. So basically, Ecstatic had like a throwback Ecstatic series and pack them. Anyway, we have your boy Xander versus I don't even know. Is it Sancho? Yeah. See another Moltres. We saw a Drampa, so we see two Berserk Mons go at it, which is cool. See a Draco that just like does not 2KO Moltres. He's able to just cuss that Fire Rat, obliterate it. I think this might have been the only cuss that Moltres we saw, by the way. Even more interesting than the Mortgage usage. Yeah, that's cool. Wait, Xander uses like some PL, or no, like World Cup 5 team with Landers Therian. Then we see a pretty standard, like, Canyon, Parathorn, just like solid defensive team to surround PZ, goes to PZ. Then it ends up being fucking agility. So I guess it was like agility topple. That's like the only time I've ever seen it. Unfortunately, it does not defeat AV Landers Therian, so yeah. Then we see Slowking Galar from Sancho. Then we see Xander bring pretty terrible Feeny matchup because Canyon is not a good Feeny answer, which is what we see here. Just pick CM and then Moonblast. CM's twice uses Moonblast spams and wins. Especially with Sludge Bomb. Should be Sludge Wave. Sludge Wave is stronger, but I don't know what you poison us for, but it's stronger. We see Sancho bring Latias. Xander uses Team Term week 1 with Physical Aleki. Anyway, Xander kind of loses to Latias, so he goes Sock to try to cheese it, which unfortunately happens. I'm pretty sure this is Scarf Latias. It's like, I feel like if it was banned Sock, it did more than 64. But, so it was Scarf, which means that was also Scarf, but I have no idea. Could have just been super bulky Latias, but unfortunately he misses Draco, and yeah. Unlucky. That's a pretty unfortunate way to go 0-2 for him. Then we see this is the first series for the Rhydons versus, whatever its team's called, Rhydons versus Swallots. This is the first series that happened on Saturday. Best of 7, Bo vs Charm. See another Moltres. Really just so much Moltres actually. And then Bo just clicks into the Zera counter, unfortunately. The Bulls. So yeah. It's just the Zera bait. The Kirim. Zera beater Kirim, not really bait, because like it's just like a mon that wins. Then Bo brought this team that Asia used a lot in World Cup, and Charm brought like standard Volcanion Bulu. We've seen a lot of Volcanion Regidrago too. This Charm goes Heavy Slam Volcanion, which I assume is AD. It ends up being a Throat Spray Sylveon as opposed to Fake Tears, aka the good set. I'm pretty sure Charm just like didn't lose that, but I could be wrong. Maybe Fake Tears Hyper Beam with Life Orb 1. But we see the first Unmon from Bo, which is Quagsire. Down 0-2 by the way, knows Quag. Quag VZ train's kind of interesting to me. Anyway, Charm obviously picking the Quag, and ends up being Iso and Encore. So, yeah, Quagsire is unfortunately defeated. And Charm hits enough Icy wins to win, which is, I mean, obviously favored for Charm. So Bo Bobson is now down 0-3, and ends up loading Rhydon as here comes Team Charm loads probably the best Grimstar matchup that Grimstar has ever seen. It's also a pretty good Roto matchup with his Trickstar, beating Chansey. But so Bo makes his, I guess, only play into Grimstar, which is to hope this isn't Power Whip or Trick or anything. And he ends up being Counter, but this is Bulk Up. It ends up being Iron Defense. So, yeah. Then Bo, I guess, expects the taunt and just body presses it. Then Charm keeps bulking up. If it's Darkest Lariat, it wins, but it ends up not being Darkest Lariat, so I assume it's like Sucker, I guess. So Charm is defeated by Rhydon. Yeah. We go to the next game, we see Bo Bobson being Drag Mag, and then Charm brings like Entei Coco, which is fighting True with a Seismitoad. Seismitoad with Power Whip to beat some like other ground types. Or like opposing Seismitoad, I guess. I don't know why I mentioned that, but last week we saw Bo Bobson not run EQ1 Salamence, but this week he has it. So he has emerged victorious. So that's cool. The Bo Bobson on route to reverse brings Quagsire again even after it lost, and he ends up running into a 3L matchup with it. So yeah, this is just like, this is super in Bo Bobson's favor. Charm has to get like every turn right. And it's also Helmet. Oh, that was super uphill for Charm to win that. And then Bo Bobson loads Rhydon again. Up. Wow, game 7. Not up. Well, it's game 7. And so here comes Team Charm does not click Guju here, because, I mean, I guess Guju loses the Chansey. I guess if it's Toxic Chansey, just Toxic, and then you can, like, spam recover, maybe? I don't know. Yeah, I think you can spam recover and Chansey wins. Pretty solid. This ended up just being an outpick. So Charm expected the Chansey to come out, and then Bo Bobson did not care and picked Specs. And I guess it was a Choco Berry on this, because it was not Specs. Or I mean, not that. This was Specs. It ended up not being Custep, so I guess it was Choco Berry. And then, yeah. If it was Darcy, Acid Armor, Gujo, this is a win. So, yeah. Bo Bobson gets like, it's like the 4th reverse sweep in best of 7 that I remember. So yeah, good for Bo. Good way to go to Bo. Really versus the Shizos, I should speed up. There's not that many series left, so it's okay. That's kind of a lot of series. Okay. How long have I been recording? It's been 50 minutes already. Oh my god, I gotta like speed through shit. Holy shit! I spent too much time on the act situation. We saw Desler lose with Mouse Stick. Saw Waylay get 3-0'd by Sub Garchomp. We saw that Shizzles resist picking Ambipom, but unfortunately faced the Bloom Doom Volcarona, so we got on. And then we saw Waylay bring Darmanitan regular but not pick it. And then Des actually managed to win with a sub-toxic Staller and Thunderous. Then he loads the Garchomp team again, and picks it again, and then beats Eggy. So yeah, Des wins the second manager battle that happened between their series. Listilla versus Bomb. I think Bomb debuted a new team or two this series. And this one was not. You see Subtoxic Entei, that's a good set versus Bomb because he doesn't want to rest on Gastro, so I approve. Bomb bought a Beware. I don't think Beware is part of his repertoire earlier, so yeah. He ends up being Specs Landorus, the solo, but it doesn't beat Beware because it doesn't kill and it is Custat. Bomb loves Custat Berry. So yeah, here's a new team that Bomb debuted with his Lilligant and Turtonator. The Zoomer, obviously. And then he wins the Zoomer Mirror, as in Bomb does. And yeah, this is more Bomb 20 XD style. So he goes Gastro because it's kind of his only pick. Well, not kind of his only pick. But, I don't know, it was a 2-1 actually. But he ends up losing to Belly Drum Azu with it, unfortunately for him. So I'm saying some nonsense to set. And then Lishilo brings the Asia team again. Then we see Dracozo versus Cart. Then Dracozo misses 2 Earthquakes. He needed to hit 1. So yeah, I don't know, that's what happens when you bring Draco's up, honestly. But missing 2 is unfortunate. Let's see. So we have HD versus Torterra. This is a team that I've used. I brought this to the World Cup Finals. This is like This is like Superman, but there's a Gyarados over Landorus, which is probably better right now. Unfortunately, I don't even know what this Zard was into. I guess this Zard was into Vix. Unfortunately, he faces Trick Room, Encore, CM, Guard. CM is interesting. DD Turbo Lizard is not a play anymore. You have to attack because of the set to give yourself some odds at least. We see Meta DOS from HD. We see like very Torterra X team with Venu picked. He ends up going Specs DOS HD and ends up fighting a DD to get Impact Malts, which I guess HD just picked straight into this. Just didn't feel like picking Venu. He just goes Malts into this. Maybe Vic was better, but no. Malts got into Subtext DOS. Then we see Torterra bring Derek Squad versus Fake Zone Lop and just pick the Meta Metagross 2-1. Oh my god, beautiful Meta Metagross 2-1. This is a team that I've been saying since like 2021, I'm pretty sure. Maybe it's like a Porygon's team, maybe? I don't know. Yeah, that was Packbot. Shotaro owned him. Dennis versus Close and Lancer versus Potato happened after the series. But unfortunately, this has already gone so long that I'll be clicking through them very briefly. We saw Specs wins from Close. Let's lose to Ferrothorn. There were a lot of 50-50s this series, but there was also some 3-0s. I think actually it was mostly 50-50s though. I think that was Scarf, probably Scarfed Arm into Colt there. So yeah, the series was a lot of 50-50s and Dennis was winning them. So I think this was it's kind of an odd scale shot turn 1 honestly. From both, I think he just Draco. But especially when you don't outspeed it after turn 2. That was strange. Yeah, then we see another Moltres. We see Lele, that's unfortunately for Close bulked for Bands, Urshi for Rapid, so Close falls to 0-2, Dennis gets 1 on the board. The series again don't really matter. This series was comedy though, so I have to look through it. There's no way this is going over an hour. Anyway, so we see a Zapdos just die to Spectre and Ice Beam. Goodbye. Then we see Zard get picked in the D-Knight, which is Rock Tomb Zard. But Potato Chan just does not flinch and clicks Substitute into Z-Trap Outrage. So yeah. This game we saw Potato knock the Azu and 24 T-Bolts, so he loses. And here Jacob made a pretty bad play, in my opinion. It's like everyone picks Zeri here, just everyone. But he just overthought and expected a Garon Blaziken. And we saw Golem from Lancer France. And then this series is just Jacob like not getting turns right, and then he just got smashed turn 3 because he tried to play around Sucker, but Lancer did not care. And then we saw this is like an ORS team with a Hydreigon, which I support, but Potato just gets another 50-50 round and loses the series. Potato's just been getting outpicked in this series. Lancer goes 2-0. CPA versus Bea, which happened at 3-3. See, this is a program team Then beautifications brought loose to Mega Metagross, which I support, which I don't support, obviously. I was gonna say I supported the troll, but I don't support it. Is that Ecstatic Team, Arcanine Thund? This goes to save Thund, but guessing this is Scarf. Do 47, honestly. That does not defeat Mawile, so goodbye. Then we see Clefable from PA, and then we see Transferb, which is solid, but then there's a Revile, which is like Revile down 0-2, then doesn't pick it, and then just expect the Zard to come out, and PA just 3-0'd Bia. So, yeah. And Earth versus Lumi is happening on Small Turd with no link. I always have to point out when series happen with no link at this point, because it's just like, are you kidding me, bitch? Was there a male Coon? There was a male Coon. Unfortunately, it does not defeat Zone. I'm guessing that Coon. I actually don't even know what that Coon is into. It might have just been into the other two mons that were Magnezone. But I was like, yeah, I think that's what it was. See, and in this game, I think this is a pretty iffy Snorlax pick, considering this set from Earth. But I guess he just expected the Volk to come out. Which makes some sense. And it also beats Hex, but Hex is like probably just not a pick here, I think. Lumi just got the pick right. Anyway, Lumi's bringing a bunch of Keldeo this series. Then we see another Latios Shaman, which is a core that SMB brought. See a Balloon Wisp Tran defeat Crustle. Imagine hitting Black White Wisp, crazy. We see Earthquake hit 2 Seed Flares too the next game. Ends up being Spec Shaman beating a T-Tar with Fire Punch. I'm guessing that's Bantar with Fire Punch, which ended up being the Genesect answer, but Earthquake just picked the safe Shaman and won. Okay, Bo versus Rumia, there's a highlight game with the tour in this. How many series? 3 more series. Okay, here we go. We saw Nihilego. This is like Nihilego Fraud Watch again. I actually don't know why both didn't pick Nihilego here. I guess it was just expecting like Waterium Vict, maybe? Or Waterium Fiend, not Waterium Vict. Can't say Pokemon right. And then game 2, I'll just let this play on Hyperfast. So we see Jirachi versus Heatran. It's a Balloon Tran, which just shows why it's pretty bad at this game. I don't know what. Okay, back a couple turns. I don't know why Rumia didn't click Rock Tomb on this turn. I'm pretty sure if you Rock Tomb, you can just spam Earth Power and then get drops. Then you can maybe get into Overheat range. Earth Power there is definitely a mistake because you have the drop, so you should click Overheat. But yeah, basically TLDR Rumia lost this. As soon as Rumia ran out of Overheats, it was lost because Earth Power crit doesn't win. Plus, she gets a lot of drops. So yeah, Rumia lost to Travis Jirachi. It's a cool Jirachi set though. We see 2 double steel teams in the best magic we could ask for. We see a Scarf Chan from Boat, which does not kill. I feel like Latios might have won, but I also don't know what Latios runs. But considering it was Groundium, but I guess there's other stuff besides Groundium. Okay, so here Rumia does not defeat Manaphy. I think DD Dragonium wins. But it was not DD Dragonium, so Rumia loses. And then we saw 2 complete Jank teams game 5. We saw Tobidum Maru Pinsir from Rumia, and then we see Rotom Wash Mega Audino from Boat. And then Boat just picks kind of free Rotom Wash because no one Tobidum Marus. And then gone. GG's across the board. We saw ADV, speedrun the series. I think there's a couple of things to comment on, but I gotta speedrun the last series. These are deciding series though. Because like RPS had to win these 2 to tie after the axe situation, so yeah, we see Subtalk Showtown win a game. Like Heracross missed 2 Mega Horns, but you have to hit so many Mega Horns to win this matchup. It's pretty hard. Unless you get like a SD right on a text, then you can start clicking reversal, assuming it is reversal and not like banned. Anyway, game 2. We saw a Thief Dusclops, which is interesting. I thought he should Thief turn 1, but I mean, I guess it didn't matter because the crit won anyway. I would have Theft turn 1 though, because it's funny. But yeah, I don't really like. I assume it was Ice Beam last move. If it was not Ice Beam last move, it's unviable because you need an attack on Dusclops or Imprison. But if you need an attack for Dusclops to be viable, and then Imprison is generally what you want to be able to win versus stuff. But yeah, if it was Wisp, like he probably would have clicked it because crit just won anyway any turn, as Earth pointed out. But I don't even think CM was clicked still because it's like the same thing though. I think it's just losing. Unless he just like he might have just lost if he clicked. No, I'm pretty sure Thief CM rests when he was still alive, but that wouldn't have been still lost. But yeah, CM was probably correct. In this game, we see a No Fear Marowak, No Fear Venusaur, and I think this is like ban HP Bug on Raikou, but I don't know. It might have also been HP Ghost, but I'm pretty sure it was ban HP Bug for Celebi, but I don't know. In this game, we see T-Tor just get picked. I'm guessing this was Zardan to Salamence, and it was like, I think it was Bandments as the T-Tor answer. This is a much like, but it doesn't really matter. It doesn't end up mattering. Could have seen a crit or another miss, obviously. In this game, Marshmallow was incorrectly afraid of Marowak. Then Autumn picks 2-1 Starmie. Like, all of Autumn's ones were 2-1s this game, though. Which is pretty bad for Marshmallow. I feel like Firewater Grass never gets good matchups, honestly. Or they always run into Starmie. At least they happen for Marshmallow. Yeah, unfortunate. Unfortunate. 0-2 for Marshmallow. Yeah, Autumn had to summon Gurdly at least. I guess there was some bad scheduling, but I didn't see anything about that. So we have Illuminata versus Toe, which was played with no Link, even though it's literally the deciding game of the week. Because if Toe wins, then Swallows would have won. Yeah, I'll just speed through this. So we see, I don't know why Jen was picked, honestly, but I guess Jen beats no HP Fire Mellow. It's odds versus Mag, but I probably would have Archops, unless he was Scarf and didn't kill Mag or something like that. In game 2, you see Togekiss get defeated by a Mega Aggron. I don't even know what Togekiss into. I guess it was into D-Knight and Serp. Then we see Tolaria get outpicked again. Doesn't pick Zard here. I don't know what the Zard was. I guess the Zard was just fearing both the other two mons, kinda, but Yellow Bandit clicks the Celis and wins. The Yellow Bandit bring another Aggron. And then miss Head Smash. So that's, dude, Head Smashes do not hit, dude, Jesus. The Yellow Bandit bring double Steel, Azu. He picks Meta, and then whole about a stack attack up, but which is obviously not picked. And then we see a Sleep Powder Vino getting a win. This is just gonna be an odds matchup between Iron Hit flinches and Sleep Powder hits / sleep turns. In the last game, we see Toe bring. Wow, this was definitely a Dookie Ambipom, honestly. Like, unless the card was one that just lost his egg, maybe? Unless Ambipom was the Genocide Dancer? It ends up being Camera or Metagross. Maybe with laser focus for ID cards and stuff. You'll get it emergency tutorials. After losing to Kartana like 3 times in a row versus him in World Cup. Anyway, you see Delmon versus Nick, which happened like before deadline, and it was the decider for Chomps versus Wooloo, where Delmon won and tied, Nick won. They won the week. So you see Delmon bring Super Mexican versus Darmji, but doesn't pick Darmji, and ends up going on Lord Lando, just expecting Pex, I guess. I don't even know what Pex was into, but I also don't know the full Pex set, despite it probably beat Registeel. And if it was just some other, I don't know, does it get us for the boosting move? I have no idea. Maybe it's Haze. Haze Toxic? I don't know. Regardless, Delamon had no fear of Darn. We see Blissey versus Chansey, mother versus daughter. But Delamon ends up just picking Zarude versus Toxic Coco, which ends up just dying in 1 to Pyro because it's not Seed. We see Mamoswine. This is like the best Mamoswine matchup I've ever seen, but he didn't even take it here. He just goes meta. Ends up just being weakness policy meta and beating Zap. Yeah, this is the best Mao match I've ever seen, dude. Maybe Mao just like doesn't beat Reggie Draco though. Probably just doesn't. And then we see a Snob get Brawl when Delamon's up 3-0. But we see him not pick it obviously because it's a Snob. And he picks Ninetales into Specs. Fake Tears Encore, which should win. I'm pretty sure he was supposed to overheat here. Oh wait, he did overheat here. I think he was supposed to overheat the turn before, but I could be wrong. I think he expected that before. He also didn't expect that Hyper Beam to come out, so this was Lord Hyper Beam. This is a good spec for taking out weaker spec dancers such as Ninetales. His RIP 100% win rate stomp, but like, thank god, dude. Why isn't that meme dead? It got revived for no reason just now. Then Nick brings Mono flying with a Butterfree and a Swoobat and then fights a Moltres, which is like the 6th Moltres or something of the week. Yeah, it does end up being Taunt Citrus, proving the no cuss stab that I was saying, and Nicholas is defeated by Moltres shockingly. Okay, yeah, that was the week. Honestly, not a bad week. I think SS and SM are both enjoyable. ORS is pretty terrible besides the, honestly. I don't know, I think ORS is just like not good. 2 3-0s. A lot of Dookie being bought, a lot of Metagrosses being lost too. I think people just aren't using good mons. But I think Black White was good, DVP was good. ADB was pretty fine, I think. So yeah. Week 3 isn't up so I can't talk about it. Maybe it run up during this recording. If not. Alright, thanks for watching, peace.